The message coming through from participants of the three-day conference was unequivocal. Africa needs to adopt a strategic and pragmatic approach to drive industrialization forward and tap into regional and global markets. The bottom line, to support this vision, is job creation, reducing poverty, and uplifting the lives of Africa's millions. At the closing ceremony, organizers re-emphasized the vision of having a conference with the sole purpose of driving this strategy.
One thing is clear. I think Africa right now needs strategies more than policies. And there's a qualitative difference between policies and strategies. Policies is the do's and don'ts, and strategies is getting on and doing things. I think we've done policies, we now need strategies. That's the first thing. And my motivation for saying that is really where we are in terms of the global economy, that Africa needs to realize that it needs to reposition itself or position itself, having shown that it can continue growing while the rest of the world isn't growing as fast. So it's a wake-up call to say, position yourself, and that needs strategy. Now, therefore, I see regional integration as part of that strategy.
At the closing ceremony, it was raised that economists alone cannot tackle the mammoth task of creating the framework to support integration and development.
The project of political integration is essentially a political one, but that does not mean that it doesn't require the support, the insights from other perspectives. Again, I came to this point of the political economy of political integration and understanding the incentives that different countries face for moving ahead more rapidly or more slowly on the project. And again, I emphasize this point of connecting the political process with the people, with the aspirations of people, because ultimately the goal of the process is to enhance people's well-being. So yes, it's essentially a political process, but can be aided by analysis that enables us to understand better what are the incentives and can inform policymakers so that the process can move forward more effectively without forgetting the involvement of people.
And of course, it all comes down to the basics. Africa needs to speed up infrastructure development.
The infrastructure is very important, it's key. It is the king and the queen of the process of structure transformation, the roads, the aviation, finance, and also hard and soft infrastructure. And finally, is the vision of Africa in the next decade, maybe in the next 50 years. The vision that is now being projected by the African Union that we share also at the ADB and also the Economic Commission of Africa that we are supporting in various ways. The Vision 2063. Luckily, most of us might not be there, but so it's also a vision of faith. How do you want Africa to be? Not necessarily for our benefit, but for our children and grandchildren.
The final words of the closing ceremony emphasized the importance of the African Economic Conference. Over the years, it's come to be regarded as a significant platform to share knowledge and to reinforce that this is where Africa gets cracking on asking provocative questions to lead the continent forward.